Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going over the 5 aspects of Rocket League that you need to improve on and just exactly how you can improve on them in the most efficient way possible. So we're going to start with easy to hard, and the first aspect of your game is shooting. So there are a lot of different ways that you can practice shooting, but the ways that I have seen the most success has been these 2 training packs. Shots you shouldn't miss with the code on screen now, and shooting consistency by whey protein. And the purpose of these training packs is not necessarily to learn crazy car control and hit, really difficult shots, but to make sure that you're not missing all of the easy shots. Because at the end of the day, it's not about how crazy of a shot you can hit, but how many times can you do it in a row every single time. Okay, and there's one other aspect of Rocket League that involves ground play that I want to talk about, and you can't really practice it with training packs, and that is of course dribbles and flicks. So you all know where I'm going. Tip number 2, method number 2 for getting better at Rocket League is, yep, you guessed it, there is no Rocket League tips video that doesn't talk about Dribble 2 overhaul. If you do not play this workshop map, oh my gosh, you were doing something wrong. Not only is this map fairly easy in the beginning, and it's great for beginners, but you can use this to improve your dribbling. However, my little tip for you, if you don't do it already, is to use this to practice your dribbles and flicks at the same time. As you can see, every time I get to the end of a level, regardless of how difficult it was, I'm going to try to flick the ball, and each time, because of my positioning, my flick will be a little bit different. As you can see there, I did a front flip, and before I did a 3/4 flip. So if you don't play this map, you are missing out. This map probably brought me the fastest improvement at Rocket League in general. However, most of you already know about this map, so I'm not going to go into it for too long, and we can move right on into method number 3, which is aerials. And there's really only one way to practice aerials. So one of the best ways to improve at aerials is, of course, as you know, Minecraft. So if you just load into Minecraft and you start flying around with the Rocket League car, you'll be able to improve your aerials so quickly that it's not even funny. I personally feel like I went from a platinum player to a diamond player within a week of doing these rings maps, and I continue to do these rings maps all the way up until I hit GC1. And now I do them less often because I feel like my general car control is great, and now I just need to focus on control with the ball while in the air, and which we'll get into in a moment. But if you are just struggling at hitting your aerial shots, I really recommend any rings map you can find, because they do get stale. You kind of memorize them, and after a while they just kind of get boring. But I've got this beautiful Minecraft map that I found, and it also has Pokemon and a bunch of other stuff, so I like this map. It's pretty fun. If you're looking for a new rings map, I'll leave it linked in the description. Okay, everybody knows about rings, so let's move on to method number 4. It is currently 2023, nearly 2024. If you want to be Grand Champ today, you need to be able to flip reset, you need to be able to hit double taps, you need to be able to freestyle and do all the cool things. But what does that really mean? And how do you learn it? Personally, the best success that I have found has just been by having purpose in free play. So what a lot of people will do incorrectly is they'll go for these redirects all the time, using the built-in controls that used to be in Bucky's mod, or they'll just bang the ball around, and it's good for getting a quick warm-up in, getting a feel for car control, and it can also be good for your recoveries. But it's also kind of a brain-dead activity. You don't have to think. That's generally not the best way to improve at the game. If you're actively thinking about how you can get the best touch and how you need to orientate your car this way or that way, you're going to do a lot better. You're going to do a much better job at memorizing the information and remembering it when it matters, and hit some crazy good shots. So when it comes to double taps and flip resets, I recommend that you just go in free play and really practice the setups, because using things like training packs or maybe workshop maps if they exist for it, they a lot of times do most of the setup for you, when honestly at least 80% of your air dribble or your flip reset just has to do with your setup. If you get a bad setup, you're going to have a bad air dribble, and it takes a lot of skill to recover a bad air dribble. So instead, why don't you just make life easy on yourself and hit up free play and just start practicing flip resets. And once you can flip reset, start learning how to double flip reset, because it's not that much more difficult than getting one. And so that moves us on to method number 5 and the final aspect of Rocket League that you need to make sure you're trying to improve, and that is your recoveries. But how do you practice recoveries? Well, one way is, of course, just being in free play, throwing a car around, you know, and trying to maintain momentum. But because we have workshops, there has been a new map that's come out within the last 6 months that I think is at least worth looking at. Now, if you haven't seen this before, this is called Hornet's Nest, and you're basically just put in a box, you drive around and avoid these walls. Sometimes you have to collect the ball or like a little ring, and the whole point is just to get you better at recoveries. So as you can see, the first level starts out pretty easy, and there is a point where you do need to start either memorizing or, so this exclamation mark means you need to collect the ball here. You need to start memorizing and understanding what's coming up next. So I'm avoiding the wall, exclamation mark means I grab this, and as you can see, we move on to the next level. Now I'm not going to show you too much, but this is actually pretty interesting, so I'm going to show you at least a couple seconds of the gameplay here. I think we're still in the first level actually. And that's the first level. Okay, and it goes up quite a bit, and it gets very difficult very quickly. As you can see, the walls are now going faster. You have to drive onto the ceiling, and then once you're off the ceiling, you have to flip and get to the next location. So if you are diamond or below, this could really help you out, because this puts you in some crazy positions, and I promise you'll see massive improvement in your games, because the only time you can really practice recoveries is when you mess up, and if you're a good player, you probably don't mess up that often, right? Thanks for watching my video. I do have 2 other tips for people who are looking to get, you know, just a little bit of extra juice out of their sweat. And what I mean by that is if you're already pushing GC, maybe you're a champ and you feel like, oh, all this stuff is easy, I do it all the time, then let me give you just a couple trade secrets to being GC. So this map is called Air Dribble Hoops. Lethamir has come out with Air Dribble Gauntlet, as well as there is a second one that I believe he's posting like right now. I don't think it's out just yet. But essentially it's purposeful air dribbles. And I think you can cheese this first level, but it's just more air dribble practice where you can't improvise as much and you're forced to really get that ball control, aerial car control down. This is very different from a rings map. You actually have to interact with the ball and get good touches to complete each level. Why is this level so difficult all of a sudden? I did it like so easy first time. Alright, so things are starting to get quite difficult even by level 5. This level is pretty difficult to even just get the ball nearly high enough up to this goal here. So I really recommend this for people who are trying to push themselves especially far, because it gets quite difficult. You know, you thought, oh yeah, I can air dribble, then you hop in here and you feel like you've never air dribbled in your life. So give this a try. I promise it'll help you out. And the last secret for you, especially for your console guys, is this training pack, Double Tap Playground. Every single pro player uses this, and it's kind of just like it's an upgraded version of free play for some of the more mechanical things that you want to be doing. So it just sets you up for redirects, double taps as the name says, and it's really just about how to utilize your car control to make plays in the air, because that's kind of the next step. You know, the key to getting better at Rocket League past the GC1 mark, a lot of times it comes down to consistency in the air, because you can get away with a lot of ground play up until about GC2 and GC3. But there's a point where players will just beat you to the ball every time, and it's important that when you get the opportunity to score, you are hitting your shots. So I really recommend this map. It's also not too difficult. I say as I just brick a shot, but challenge yourself. Make sure you don't make it too easy, and have fun. Let me know what you guys thought of this video. I was a little bit scrambled making it, but hopefully I edited it edit it in a way that it makes more sense. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Good luck. Peace out.